Hi, I'm Rich.
And I'm Dave, and we are forestry technician students at Frost Campus, and today we're going to present to you on biofuels.
Alright, so first of all, a formal definition of biofuel, what is it exactly? And it's a pretty broad range. It's anything that derives its energy by a process of carbon fixation. So that can be a little bit vague, so we can narrow it down a little bit. We all know of a really great example of carbon fixation, that's photosynthesis. And basically, photosynthesis and carbon fixation is anything that incorporates carbon into its tissue, which humans can then harvest later for energy. So trees and plant biomass is generally 50% carbon. Those carbon molecules have bonds that bind them, and humans can develop processes, normally combustion, that will break those bonds apart, release energy, which we can then harvest. Yeah.
A couple definitions of what biofuel might look like. An obvious one, ethanol. You'll often find it at your local gas station. More bizarre ones, the one that we talked about the other day, was biocoal and biochar. They're basically the same thing. It's using the waste product from forestry operations, compressing them down, and then heat treating them to a certain extent in order to make it into a synthetic coal. Wood pellets is also another example. Once again, you're using wood waste, so you're kind of getting as much out of a tree as possible. And then you have things like canola oil and other natural plant-grown fuels.
So what people normally ask is how can we convert to biocoal, and how does it stack up against conventional methods? Like gasoline and coal, like conventional coal, are nice because they're usually found in pockets, they're economically feasible to go and get, and they're nice energy dense substances that we can store for a long time. So people ask, if we put all this money into infrastructure, how can we assure our energy future with this new and, as of right now, untested biocoal? So I found this chart laying behind me, just kind of comparing energy densities for each of these things. So this is an energy density for gasoline, compressed natural gas, coal, biocoal, ethanol, and firewood, just regular old firewood. Compressed gas is kind of the outlier. It has an unfair advantage because this is an energy density, and because it's compressed, it naturally increases its density, so we can ignore that one. Coal and biocoal are really the two I want to compare because biocoal being the much more favorable option for forestry is what we want to convert to. And we can see that it has a comparable amount of energy density to regular coal. Now that's because, so coal is from 7,000 to 14,000 and biocoal sits around 10,000 BTU per pound. The reason coal has such a huge variance is because there are lots of different grades of coal. Normally, coal sits around the 7,000 mark because we use the dirty coal, which is cheap and nice and easy to get. Biocoal, on the other hand, is any kind of compressed, usually it's wood fiber, so mountain pine beetle and emerald ash borer destroyed forest would be really, really good for A, this kind of fuel, but B, the forest industry, because we're kind of at a struggle right now on what to do with all of that dead standing wood. So, and the other advantage of biocoal is that we don't have to build new infrastructure in order to implement it. It can be burned in regular coal burning plants, and so that's one of the big challenges. And then, hopefully, one day,
The trees that we are growing here at Frost, they're going to go through their life cycle of reaching maturity. We'll harvest them, we'll get the boards and the other majority, the main products that we're used trees for, but then we'll use the byproduct and hopefully turn that into biofuel. Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks.